So what I say is, you know, a lot of times I hate it, but people say I'm the female version of Kevin Samuels, right?
She hates it.
I have heard that. I've heard that.
They do say it. I don't. But if people are honest with themselves, there's a lot of validity to some of the things that he said.
And I'm gonna stop you right here. This is why young women are stop coming to you, ladies. This is as the woman who called my show last night asked me, who are you to be giving all this advice? And then this 46-year-old woman. Young women are stop listening to y'all because you won't stop. There's a reason there are 32,000 people watching my show, and a lot of them are women because you're not telling them the truth.
You know, I don't think people should date until they're happy with who they are. And so what I say is, you know, a lot of times I hate it, but people say I'm the female version of Kevin Samuels, right?
Yeah, I have heard that. I've heard that.
They do say it.
Whoever said that? And do they need to get their head examined? This is crazy. Sarah Fontenot has deemed herself as the female Kevin Samuels. Nobody in their right mind ever said that. Let's just be clear. Man, I tell you, this is crazy.
So what I say is, you know, a lot of times I hate it, but people say I'm the female version of Kevin Samuels, right?
She hates it.
I have heard that. I've heard that.
They do say it. I don't. But if people are honest with themselves, there's a lot of validity to some of the things that he said. And so one of the things that he said was, for women, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. You can't use 7. Right? Well, throw that out the window. What I would say for all of us, man and woman, is to rank yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. But these are the units of measure: physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, energetically, and physically, spiritually, financially, energetically. I forgot. There's 6 of them. Anyway, so when you do the 6 of those things,
You got to get your talking points down if you're going to be Kevin Samuels. Like, hold up. See, this is the problem. You know, you got people that are parroting Kevin Samuels' talking points and now think they have somehow evolved his talking points. And in fact, they're actually bastardizing them. That is the problem here.
and you rank yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, you cannot use 7. Add them all up, divide it by 6 to get your average. Now you can see, well, where do I really rank? What do I really deserve? And most importantly, to understand, where are you at? Because the truth is, the better that you are in yourself, the better person you're going to attract. And if you don't feel happy physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, and energetically, doesn't mean you have to make $1 million a year. It doesn't mean you have to be a size 2. It doesn't mean that you have to talk to God every single minute of every single day. But do you have a foundation in those things?
Yeah.
And if you don't, then that's the work first. And when you do that, you attract better. Period. Because when you feel better, you put out that energy. When you put out that energy, it comes to you.
I heard that. Attract better. There it is. You know what you're talking about.
Not necessarily.
And I mean, that's the thing too. I want to just open up before we get to our next question. I mean, the two of you are phenomenally successful in your fields. You're married. You're still single-ish?
I'm not married.
Not married. In that being
See the shame in that answer? Like, why is she not proud of the fact that she is single? If she is professing this knowledge, and she needs to actually be where she is. And unfortunately, she wants to push this thing forward, and it's going to keep coming up every time. How are you, this single woman, giving out relationship advice? Do you have an example of a successful relationship? Do you have anything? Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of married people out here trying to give advice too, but a lot of them don't have the knowledge of what they're talking about because they're making it up as they go as well.
things, I believe, just it seems like you guys would have to put your careers first. How does finding a significant other and maintaining a strong, relationship work out when
It can be hard sometimes, it can be hard. When you're traveling all the time for work, my husband's an ER doctor, so he's at work right now till
2 doctors in the house.
6 o'clock in the morning. And when you have 2 careers, you have to juggle that, right? So it is about making that time. And if you do that, I think you can sort of have it all, but you can't have everything at a 10, right?
Yeah.
You have to decide what is important to us as a couple. What are our priorities? So are you single or are you dating? When you're dating?
I'm dating.
Just-
I'm
And so how is it out there in
not
them
married.
streets?
The streets are great. I love my. I'm having a wonderful time. I'm very happy. And so what?
Okay, so then you're not trying to get married then. That's case closed. We can wrap that up. You can't be the moral authority and also be out there in them streets.
what I'll say is, wait, I forgot the question. What is the question?
Are you like how difficult is it being out
Okay,
there?
so let me tell you, as a feminine woman, where are my feminine ladies at?
Is it the soft girl era? Are
It
we?
is soft girl era. Okay, as a feminine woman, it is much more.
Says soft girl era, a trend amongst Gen Z women that celebrates a deliberately cutesy, feminine, and playful aesthetic. The soft girl era.
More challenging because femininity wants masculinity. And a masculine man is not going to be okay with you being working 24/7. So there is a
agree.
balance that has to happen. Now, that being said, I've heard it said before, there's an alpha submissive thing that's happening, right? Where you can be an alpha out in the streets. You can be an alpha in your business. You can be a boss babe. You can be a business owner. You can be a serial entrepreneur. But when you come home to your man, baby, take that cape off. Put on your little girl shoes and be that little gooey girl that you can be, right? Because
You know, it's frustrating because she speaks half truths. You know, like it's a trend here online of a lot of people trying to emulate success, models of success, let's just say. And what you see a lot of times is people like this who get half of their talking points from other people that existed prior to. And sure, nothing new is under the sun, right? And nobody has any license or copyright on any of this material. But can we be honest about where you're getting your information? Because the same people that you say you would get your information from are the same people that you would condemn. Can we be honest about the vilification of men online and their talking points, and then women coming forth and parroting those talking points and making millions of dollars? They're really not trying to help. It doesn't seem like there's any gain from putting this rhetoric out into the world. And someone like this, someone like Sarah, is a prime example of that. We also got Dr. Sadia Khan, who I might do a video on later, being exposed for what she truly is and how she's been operating in this world outside of preaching to the masses a message of femininity and being submissive, and then going and being a side chick to someone who's already married. The contradictions of the chameleon character are astounding. And Sarah is setting up to be one of the biggest chameleon reveals of all.
Because masculinity doesn't want masculinity. And I do think that a lot of us women, because there are single moms, you know, there are women that have to be masculine not by choice, but by necessity, because they have to provide for their families.
You don't have to be masculine to be a single mom.
Or we're paying our own bills. We're doing all of these things. And so
You don't have to be masculine to be a successful woman.
sometimes it's a little hard
Yeah.
to fall into that soft girl era.
Right.
So I would say check that at the door. Like, where are you at? Do you mind your tone when you're speaking to that man? Are you mindful of your volume when you're speaking of that man? Are you able to be affectionate and loving? Or is it insecurity after insecurity after insecurity, which goes back to, are you happy with yourself? You have to love yourself.
I heard that.
But no busy man gonna take no super busy woman. Not the
But-
masculine man.
So even in that idea, because I mean, I like what you're saying in that sense of where from a man's perspective, we want to be able to be that provider. We want to be able to be that protector.
Yes.
So if I'm not able to express that to you, then but like I said, I like a successful woman. I like a strong woman, but I want to be it seems that women will have their guard up, and correct me if I'm wrong, until they feel like they can trust a man that allows them to be soft.
Yes. Because I have a question for you, Nick. Would you be with a woman that puts her work before you?
Absolutely. I've been with many women that have put their work before me.
But you didn't marry them.
Maybe I did.
Right, Terry.
But no. But even in that sense, when I was married, that was what we respected and actually admired about one another.
My name is Jordan Summer.
Hey, beautiful.
My
Jordan.
question is, like, when it comes to the whole theme of gold digging or hypergamy, if you will, where do you guys draw the line between who's qualified to want or desire a successful man?
Yeah.
Because could it be that it's not just about the money, right?
Yeah.
From greatest to least when it comes to women, who doesn't desire the qualities that it takes for a man to make a certain amount of money? You cannot be uber successful making a certain amount of money if you're not confident, if you're not disciplined, if you're not educated, amongst other things. So what if we're just all attracted to the qualities that creates a successful man, even if you're not quite so successful yourself as a woman? So like, where do you guys draw the line?
So a broke woman wants a man that is uber successful. This is part of the problem right here. We've got too many women with this mentality. Every woman is going after the same small percentage of men that are deemed financially successful. This is shallow behavior. This is the worst. This is why we say you lack femininity in some ways, because you're purely looking for the superficial.
Line between who's qualified to desire a successful man.
I don't draw no lines. I draw circles. That is an amazing question, though, in that same sense of like, what I was saying earlier is like,
Yeah.
the traits of being successful are attractive.
Yes.
So there's nothing wrong with it's about how you approach it once you get together. If
Yeah.
you really don't like him and you really just there for, you know, the Chanel bag or the trips or to take a little picture on a private jet, then that's when you know even though you were attracted to him, it's what you do once you got him that makes you a gold.
Yeah. You know, I think, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but can I just be real?
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
All right, we gonna tell the truth tonight on the Nick Cannon Show. So number one, I will say for my ladies, do the best with your genetic potential. Number one, because masculinity. Look, I'm gonna keep it a buck.
She keeping it a stack in here.
I'm gonna keep it a buck.
I like how you put that, too.
Do the best with your genetic potential, and the reason why is because masculinity desires an aesthetic. How you were saying at the beginning, Dr. Mike, you said women, it's not just about the money. Well, women naturally seek safety and security. Men naturally seek an aesthetic. The reason why is because beauty, which is really symmetry, it's measured in symmetry, usually means you're healthy. Although that's not always the case, but subconsciously they're seeking someone that will give them a good heir, their legacy. So do the best with your genetic potential. That automatically moves you up the Richter scale of the men that you get to get just because they value an aesthetic. Now, that being said,
Another superficial trait. You see, and this is just bad advice. You know, you can make an observation and say, yes, men like attractive women. But do you think that is it? And that is the end all be all of things? So many men are looking for intangibles in women that I think a woman is not even able to understand or perceive what's going on here. And this is why it's hard to take advice, relationship advice from a woman, and especially a single woman. So she's going to continually run into these brick walls because she can't really understand the full scope of things. She's very opinionated based on her own potential, her own personal situation. That takes logic out of it.
if all you have to offer is your body as a woman, you're also broke. As a man, if all you have to offer is your money, you're also broke. Right? So yes, we women, most women do actually kind of like narcissistic traits. Let's just keep it a buck. However, we do value those things. However, you know,
But Kevin Samuels actually said it best. Speaking of women giving out bad advice,
This is why I'm gonna stop you right here, man. I'm gonna stop you right here, and I'm gonna stop you right here. This is why young women are stop coming to you, ladies. That's the woman who called my show last night asked me, who are you to be giving all this advice? And then this 46-year-old woman. Young women are stop listening to y'all because you won't stop. There's a reason that 32,000 people watching my show, and a lot of them are women, because you're not telling them. You won't be direct with them. You won't just tell them, look, if you want to have your career, it's going to cost you. You won't tell them that if you want to get married and have kids, you need to do it before a certain age to have a better shot. You know better, but you won't tell them. Tell her.
Let me say this. I was engaged when I was in my 20s to my college sweetheart.
I ain't asking about you.
Kevin, let me just give you, because I'm going to give you the answer. And I made a choice. Not to get married, right? And I don't have kids to this day. So I could say I have regrets because I could be married and have
What
children.
age?
That was like 25.
What age would you tell the women? I ain't asking about you, and
You
no,
want to answer it, but you won't let me answer
no,
it.
I just need you to give me the age. I don't need the background. Give me the age. They're between the ages of 21 and 50. What age, if you want to get married and have a family, what age should they start prioritizing?
You allow me to answer, Kevin, because
Yeah, I'm allow you to give me an age. I'm going to end this conversation.
I know a girl that had a baby at
I'm going to allow you to give me an age range.
Kevin,
All right.
oh my God. It was
All
nice
right.
talking to you.
Yeah.
Since you got
This is why they're not listening to you anymore. This is why. This is a woman talking about our running relationship channel, and I asked a simple question: at what age would you tell women to start prioritizing? They don't want to tell you.
I couldn't have said it any better. It's not a very forgiving screenshot, but now she's backing off of the point. She's very conflicting in what information she's giving women, you know, like, because let's be honest, her audience is not men. Most men worth their salt are not listening and taking dating advice from a woman like Sarah Fontenot. It seems like they have a blinder based on their own perception, and especially as a single woman. You know, she's here as a single woman and she's placed herself in this dating space, but she doesn't seem to grasp the concept. So let's just say she's talking to women. In the last video I covered of her, she was telling women that she personally was not willing to date a man that made less than $70,000. I'm going to keep harping on that point, no matter how much she wants to wiggle out of it or whatever, because you got to stand firm in your convictions if you're Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels had his perspective and stuck to it. Every interview we're seeing with the same person, in fact, because she's on Nick Cannon's podcast, Nick Cannon's show, Nick Cannon at Night. Seems like a halfway decent format. You know, Nick is professional at TV production. But the thing that gets me is that she keeps putting herself in this dating coach expert lane without necessarily needing that. You know, she doesn't need to be this relationship expert, this relationship guru. Just be where you are and understand that there are things that you are learning constantly. She doesn't feel like she can learn anything. Being the female Kevin Samuels point, which she says she hates, obviously you wouldn't have brought it up if you hated that much. You would be avoiding it at all costs. But there is only one Kevin Samuels, and he has proven that. There's not been anybody to step into that position in the same way that Kevin Samuels did. And there's a reason for that, because he was unique and he was speaking from his perspective and experience, most of which I'm starting to believe Sarah Fontenot has very little of. You know, she talked about her relationships and not wanting to get into anything and not have a lot of sex outside. You know, she's dating people, but not having a lot of sex. She seems like she's trying to end game things. She's trying to skip steps and get to that expert position without going through the trauma that a Kevin Samuels went through. Anyway, let me know what you think about it in the comments. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification for all uploads. This is Fawcett Media. Rest in peace to Kevin Samuels, a one of one.